So I'm here with my buddy, Forest Griffin, which going close to 2 years. We're at a nice taco joint, right? In what's this area called? Summerlin?
This is actually Paradise.
Oh, Paradise?
Paradise, yeah. All the old boxing matches in the day took place in Paradise. It's Las Vegas.
So we're not too far. Like Vegas is not that separated, right?
It's
like we're like what, 10, 15 minutes to the UFC Performance Institute?
Yeah. Well, with traffic, 70. But no, it's
like most big cities.
There's Henderson and there's Summerlin and then there's the Strip.
Got it. So what we were talking about before that, I was like, let me grab the mics because this is probably a good topic. We were talking about, okay, we met January of 24. You were gracious enough to, we became buds at a networking event.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you were gracious enough to come and hang out with us at the trade show.
Yeah.
We sat on top of a T-Rex table.
We did. We talked all things cattle, all things counters.
We heard about your awesome story, how you got into the UFC, living on your parents' couch. Well, not the whole time. You were.
Well, I was living on my coach's couch, and then I had a mattress, my other buddy's mattress. And then when I moved back home, I don't even know if I told you this. I had this, and I was actually working too. Like I had a good job, but I had no money for like a rent, down payment, deposit. So I stayed in my grandmother's bed that she had she didn't die there, but it was like one of those old people, and it was pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
Although you couldn't really
motorized.
You couldn't really roll
couches.
around because it was like there were rails, and it was made for like a 100-pound woman. So yeah, I slept.
Well, I remember
on that
you
bed.
saying that you grew up poor. But not like poor.
Yeah,
you grew up like
there's levels to poor.
You grew up like semi-poor.
And then even when but then my mom, I told you my joke is that I got out of poverty the old-fashioned way. My mom got remarried to a guy with a job, but got right out of poverty, moved to the suburbs, easy. So for me, it was it's actually a really great experience to have, and a lot of people can relate, right? To have been like. Where you don't have much, you feel like you have nothing, and you're in a really shit place. And fortunately, when we were in shit places, we didn't have the internet to look at and see how great other people's lives were. So I just thought,
which is probably why the depression is skyrocketing, right?
I just thought you were either like this or you were in the NFL. Right. Like there's no middle. I didn't realize there were other people doing other things, except when you watch movies, right?
True.
And then
all you see is like how shitty your life is because everybody's just so good. Or at least they make it seem like that, right?
Of course, curated lifestyle.
But you and I were lucky. I think that if I recall correctly, we're pretty much like in the same exact. Like we graduated from high school, I think.
Yeah.
96.
96.
Class of 96, baby. But what we were talking about before was like since January 24th, like there's been this slowdown in the real estate market. That we were talking about. It's affected my industry big time.
Yeah.
And I was just saying though, in life, I think that you got to be thankful for those times that when you're comfortable, you have no
growth,
no reason to grow. Right.
So when discomfort that makes you grow.
I'm grateful for these moments because I wouldn't be doing all the cool things that I've been doing in the past 18 months if it wasn't for these moments in life, these little lulls that kind of strike.
It's all part of the backstory, right?
Yeah.
It's all part of the, think about a motivational movie that started with the ending. They would suck. And then he made it, but no, he's got to fail 10, 15 times. He's got to fail. He's got to be, the main character has to suffer before they can be victorious. And that's what's so euphoric about it.
Yeah, there's no story about a guy just kicking everybody's ass the whole movie.
Yeah.
Unless you watch John Wick.
Yeah, which, but even him, they bust him up from the beginning. And it's, he loses his wife and his dog in the same,
Which represented his wife.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what else happened since you've gotten fitter and I've gotten less fit. So
you look the same to me, dude.
Well,
what do you mean?
I'm not going to take my shirt off, but
you look the same as when you were beating up Shogun.
Well, I don't have glasses. I didn't have glasses last time either. I'm getting, it's all right.
No, listen, I got
some of us are getting fit.
No, I got bifocals. Don't feel bad.
Okay.
I just hit them.
Yeah, I don't know why I put them on to see you. Like, what did I want to see you better?
No, you had them on.
What did I want to see you better for? Jeez.
Shit. No, thank you, man. I've tried to dedicate more time to my health.
Yeah.
I have an amazing wife that keeps me in check. She's always helping me, reminding me, giving me the side eye when we're at dinner, which is that side eye saved me thousands and
Yeah.
thousands of calories.
A lot of calories, yeah. We
But
would
she's
always
great.
say you have a wife that's on the team,
Yeah.
Because our guys would be training and cutting weight that have girlfriends or wives. They'd be like, oh, honey, do you want me to make? No, I don't want you to make your delicious lasagna. Like, you make that after the fight. Like, or a girl, oh, we're going to have some people over. Let's go out to dinner. Let's go out to a nice dinner, honey. Is like, she's not on the team. Your wife's on the team. It's like, here's some chicken and hot sauce.
She's on the team almost way too much on the team. You know what I mean? Like, if she could, she'd put a lock on the fridge for me. Which I wouldn't mind, because I wouldn't kind of need it.
I wouldn't either.
But we got 3 little girls, so
Yeah.
just in case they get it.
Hey, look, it's past our bedtime.
Yeah.
All right, fridge is locked. We'll get you tomorrow.
But yeah, man. So we were talking about, this time is a time for like growth, a time to. I think that life is. And we were talking about relating it to combat or wrestling. Like, when you're on that mat, right? That's why I think we have an affinity for combat sports, and I've always loved like wrestling and boxing.
Yeah.
It's because when you're on the mat and you think, right? You're like this close that you could just give up. All you got to do is like let loose on one side of your body, and you could just let the guy pin you, and like
Boop, it's over. You're
that's
out.
it. You're out.
Good weight.
But then there's that other part of you that you don't care how much you're going to suffer. You're going to at least try.
So that's not why I got into it.
Oh.
I had, I have like super ADHD, and I found with me, when you're trying to punch my face in or slam me on my head, that is the one time
Then you get to be in the moment.
Get that beautiful focus. And if you lose your focus, whoa, they bring it right back to you. And so for me, I was like, oh, this is great. I can focus on this one thing and all my other problems fade away. And it's just a good workout. Even like when I'm doing like a hard airdyne thing, you don't think about like your health or your anything, it's like, oh, the bills.
So do you still try to get knocked around now to be in the moment? Like, do you do some sparring from time to time?
I do like tech classes, and I do like an intro sparring class every Friday, usually, yeah.
Oh, really? Do you just grab people, like anybody to spar with you?
I got like my 3 or 4 guys that aren't gonna hurt me.
Not like an amateur guy.
Yeah, but like high level. Not the one guy I work with is kind of a killer, and he doesn't realize. I'm like, oh, he's good.
You watch the weight, or you don't care too much about weight class?
I'm one of the bigger guys, so
how much you weigh?
I still weigh like 215, 220. So it's not, it's not super.
So if I wanted to go in tomorrow afternoon and spar with you, you might let me?
Oh, I'm down, yeah.
Because I'm like 200.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a handicap.
No.
Like it might be, it might give me a little more speed.
We're both 85ers at this point.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
The guys that fight today.
That'll be definitely something that
yeah.
I'm sure the small audience that I have wouldn't mind seeing.
They hate you for some reason.
Yeah, who knows why. But yeah, man, so what we were talking about was like some of these guys lately going to like, for all the UFC fans or combat sports fans, some of these guys that we were talking about, they're on the top, they get all this fame, they get all this money, and then all of a sudden it's tough to hold on all that, the personas,
other obligations,
money, the distractions, of this, of that, and then, well, we already know a couple famous cases of that.
And then, well, here's the thing. It's harder in MMA than anything else, just because MMA is so hard. And it's just you. It's
hard to make it to that.
Yeah.
Like you can
so when you make it there, it's
hand.
like, you're like, oh, but I have an opportunity to make an easy 20 grand. Well, you're in fight camp. That's a day of your life. It's shaking hands. You might get sick. It's a nice distraction, but it's also a distraction. And you're risking it. You're missing a day recovery.
Yeah, how can you do a training camp if you're Conor McGregor? And like you've
got all these
demands about your proper 12 and your real estate company in Ireland, and now you're running for politics.
You've got to post whatever, you've got to. You're obligated for something. You got 6 people telling you, oh, you're supposed to do what, And it's like, sure, the money's great, but you know, what's suffering is what got you there. But he's a kind of a, you know, he's a 4-leaf clover. He's a 101.
Yeah.
'Cause
No, he's definitely
doing,
a unicorn. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's like
doing unicorn.
special.
Yeah, he's yeah, just a big Irish unicorn. He's doing fine doing the other stuff, you know.
I mean, I think also that takes a lot of mental toughness too.
Yeah.
To handle, because I'm sure, not that we see him a lot here in the States, but Habib was going through the same thing over in Russia, you know?
I think too is he's got a, you know, it's a good marriage, kids, he's a family man. He loves the sport, he loves the gym. He still coaches, he's still like mentoring and working with guys. He didn't love promoting because he had his own promotion. He didn't love it, but he still trains. He just opened up a training facility. And he said like, oh, I'll never make my money back from it. It's like, I just wanted to do it. Yeah, just because he enjoys it. Yeah. And I see him like when Islam was fighting, I see him training him, which is crazy, right? This champion, Hall of Fame, whatever, one of the greatest to ever do it, Mount Rushmore best fighters ever, training guys. And you know, so that's just his love of it. And then you hear him sometimes talk about how he kind of wants to quit or wants to retire, doesn't want to train guys anymore. Have you heard this? He talks like that sometimes. And you know what that is that's just because he's so invested in it. He's giving so much of himself to it until that fight is over and the guy wins, and then it's all worth it again, and then you forget. It's like having a child. You're why would I go into labor again? And then you look at your beautiful child and you say, oh, let's have another one, Joe. One more. just 3 will be good. And you're like,
I was the one actually saying that to my wife. I was like, let's try it for the boy. We have 3 girls. Yeah. She's like, we tried 3 times already.
She's like, Joe.
Yeah.
I love you, bro.
Yeah. She's like, you're not gonna be the one waking up in the middle.
Exactly, right.
But yeah. So if you had to name, because I just thought of this thinking of Habib, and there's been a lot of fighters lately that have come onto the scene, and you have this like the greatest of all time talk, like who's been the greatest of all time, and you hear like Mighty Mouse.
Yeah,
statistically,
okay. I'm glad you put him out there.
Which I do, but I think that, which we'll get to that. You got John Jones, right? You got
Khabib, GSP.
You got who else? John Jones and what's his name? The other heavyweight. Stipe. You got Daniel Cormier. Was a great fighter.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think you put all the elements together, like not just the stats, right? If you go by stats, like Demetrius Johnson was almost perfect, but nobody wanted to watch him.
Which I think, it's a weird one.
I mean, if I was following really closely at the time, I don't think he ever was on a pay-per-view. I think all of his fights were like fight nights, for whatever reason. But he also didn't make much of an effort. Like, you saw his embedded, and he's playing video games like most of the time.
Well, but that's also his people, like his community.
Right.
You know?
But long story short, you also want to captivate people, talk a little smack, keep that part interesting. Yeah. I think Khabib was very artful in doing that as well, because he would never really curse. Right? Things like that. But you could tell he was upset. And then he'd be like, send me your location.
He had some great one-liners.
He had some great one-liners. Send me your location.
We're kind of talking, and, I'm always going to kind of take the fighter side, but part of it, too, is it has to be a part of your personality naturally. Yeah. Like, you can't totally manufacture a personality unless you're maybe Chael Sonnen. It has to be like a bit. Sean O'Malley is just a magnified version of Sean O'Malley, right? He's probably not really like that, but there's at least some aspects of him that are like that.
Sugar was an exaggeration.
But he's still there. Like, he's still that guy. That's still a part of him, Like, Chuck Liddell was just a guy that he was just like, I'll fight anybody, I don't care. It's like...
Demetrius was very much like, this is a skill, more than like I have angst.
Yeah.
This is a skill. I'm very technical, and I'm
Well,
gonna
that's the
respect
video
my
game.
opponent.
That's
and,
the
like,
video game tie-in.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I'm just figuring out how to press your buttons better.
No, and I'm not saying that takes
Yeah.
away, but at the same time, as a fan, like you said, it's the
Yeah.
storyline. It's that getting down, and like when you see somebody
Well,
attacking you, you see how you defend
It's getting
yourself.
you to press buy.
Yeah, and
Buy.
the press buy. I mean, you gotta
Transact. Yeah.
you gotta make it lucrative for the organization too that you're representing.
It's weird, right? It's a tough. These guys have a very tough, to kind of the top guys to balance that. Oh, I want to sell some tickets, but also I have to like train and fight. And I want to be myself. I don't want to have to be on all the time. I had some horrible interviews, and I said and did some very stupid things, but it was because I kind of been pushed a little. Like I've been pushed a lot, and kind of, they're waking you up on fight week at 8 in the morning to do interviews with the East Coast or something. You're like, man, what's going on? And then again, though, that's the balance, though. If you want to have the perfect fight, well, you can have the perfect fight, but you won't get paid for it.
Right.
No. But you gotta sell the fight.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta get on the plane. You gotta go.
You got obligations.
Yeah, you gotta again. It is, and that's where you talk about sports entertainment. It's such a weird crux because it's the epitome of sport, the epitome of human competition. Yet at the same time, you have to get people to buy it. So it is sport and entertainment.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
But you decide to be a fighter. You kind of don't think that you don't think about all that, right? Like when you're fighting, you're like, I'm gonna beat this guy and that's all I gotta do. But then you're like, once you become popular, now you got to train, you got to fight, and you got to fill those obligations. You got distractions because people want to talk to you now. People want to, and then if you don't have that innate part of your personality, like for example, somebody who's an amazing fighter, but he's not much of a talker, is Vicente Luque.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Amazing
so
fighter.
Skilled.
Amazing fighter.
He's got a tough fight.
Beneil Dariush.
Yeah, Beneil. Yeah.
Okay. Bilal, I feel like, I don't know how much, it feels a little manufactured when he tries to go out there.
He is the way he is, so he kind of plays the villain. I feel, and this is, again, I know him a little bit, I really like him. I think he got so much hate that he kind of started playing the villain. But it's hard to be the villain. Again, he doesn't cuss, he doesn't drink, he's never going to talk about your family.
Yeah.
So he's never going to do things like that. So it's hard to be the villain. He's not going to jail Saddam.
There's a lot of guys that's just not in their DNA, like Cyril, gone.
Oh, I love him too. I love watching him.
Yeah. You can tell he's a nice guy, but that makes him likable. Like, and it's different.
Yeah.
Like those nuances are different in different weight classes. Like if you think about Cyril Gane, right?
Yeah.
He's big. He looks like a freaking monster. So it's almost like refreshing that he's a gentleman.
Got this Adonis-looking chest. Like, what the?
But if you're like a lightweight and you're quiet, like you gotta. It's almost like you gotta.
Sell it a little bit.
Yeah, the heavyweights kind of sell on their own.
Yeah.
Which I can't believe that guy. I thought that guy Sergey was going to go and knock everybody out. And then he got knocked out by Tom Aspinall.
Oh, Sergey Pavich.
Yeah.
Pavich,
Do you think that John Jones is really dodging Tom Aspinall?
I don't know, man. Honestly.
That would be the first time ever, though.
That is above my pay grade. I don't know what's happening, and,
That's your way of saying you've overheard conversations at the performances.
No, it's the opposite. It's like those are. I wish I was the boss, but then there's days or things like that where you're like, maybe I'm glad I'm not the boss. Maybe I'm glad I don't make the decisions at that final, cut. So
no, there's a lot of pressure to make certain decisions.
Well, and that's a weird one. Like, what do you do with that? I don't know.
What do you think about Ilya and Makhachev?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, look at Ilya. Again, you talk about that.
Isn't he a little bit smaller than Makhachev?
Yeah.
A lot smaller than him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a weight difference. What are they going to fight at?
55? No. Sorry. Ilya is fighting. Wait, who's he fighting? Holloway?
Is he fighting Holloway?
Makhachev moved up. Makhachev is.
They were going to fight, right?
Yeah. Where Ilya wanted
what would they
to
have fought
fight
at?
him. They would have fought.
145?
No, they would have fought for the belt at 55.
Oh wow.
There's no way Islam makes. But Islam moved up. Islam moved up. He's fighting for the belt at 170. He's fighting Jack Della Matta.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maddalena. Got it. Okay.
Della Matta, who had an amazing fight with Bilal. It was a really good fight.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think is it Holloway?
What happened to?
No.
Is that 185? Chimaev?
Yeah,
He's 185.
he's fighting for the belt against the South African kid.
Oh, Duplessis. That's
Yeah.
going to be the fight of the year.
Yeah,
That's going to be the one I can't miss. When is that? You know?
no idea.
Soon, right?
The internet knows. I don't think it's that soon. Who's Ilia Topuria fighting? Charles Oliveira for the belt.
Charles.
So that's a winnable fight. Charles is very long, but either one of those guys has the ability to win that fight. It's funny, I was watching they showed an old Ilia highlight.
He's got some good reach
Well,
on top of him, Charles.
Yeah. It was just a longer guy for sure. But then, it showed the British kid, I forget his name, knocking Ilia down with a head kick. I mean, Ilia went on to knock him out, but yeah.
Oh, knock him down. Knock him down.
And then, Ilia's a guy that he gets hit a little bit, but so does Charles. And I don't know. You really don't want Ilia to.
You think
Topuria
Dustin Poirier's got a last run in him?
Yeah, he's fighting Max Holloway in New Orleans. Now that's pretty soon. That's a couple weeks away, and that's going to be an amazing fight. You know, those guys have fought different weight class.
Can't even remember
they
who
fought
won
like a
last
million
time.
times. Dustin won, which was why when Max knocked Justin out, I was surprised because Dustin Poirier beat Max Holloway, but then Max Holloway knocked out Gaethje, who knocked out Dustin. So it's fun, right?
That was crazy. That was Wild West at the end.
MMA math doesn't make sense. It doesn't. MMA math doesn't add up. There you go. That's fun.
It was tough seeing that fight with Holloway and Gaethje. Seeing Gaethje that tired.
I don't know if he was that tired. He always gets tired. He's throwing 100,000% at it. It was 25 minutes, and he just took a lot of shots.
He looked really tired at the end there.
Yeah, I don't recall, but I remember he was firing like a guy that wasn't tired at the end. And when they picked him up, did you see like after? They didn't show it on the broadcast. When they picked him up, his nose started pouring blood. Just pouring blood onto the canvas.
Really?
When they picked him up and he was still out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No, I love it because I love when people see that. It was like, to me, that's the
That's crazy.
well, that's the appeal. It's like that's the
raw
thing is like,
fight,
look,
the primal.
this could go really wrong for somebody.
Yeah.
You know, but there's got to be consequences.
Like when you fought Stephen Bonner and you guys were all bloodied up.
Yeah,
like,
it was just like
it was like the blood. I don't think I've seen a fight. Very few.
Well,
that have
I've
gotten that bloody,
yeah.
unless it's like Clay Guida, which is,
Oh yeah.
or Nate Diaz, because he's always getting
Nate
busted
Diaz
open
always
over his
getting,
left brow.
We had one not too long ago. It was hilarious. The canvas was all red. And like I asked the guy, I was like, "Hey, is it damp?" And he was like, "Yeah, my feet feel damp on it." I was like, "Oh, that's hilarious." I guess like, I can't reuse that.
Against who?
I forget. It's just one of them got split open. They ended up having to stop it. But head wounds bleed. It wasn't even bad. Like they get the guys a good plastic surgeon, a couple layers of stitches, you're good to go. I mean it's the.
So how's the Performance Institute these days?
I mean it's great. They got Vegas, Shanghai, and Mexico City. They got academies in Shanghai and Mexico City. Targeting athletes from that region to kind of jumpstart their careers and jumpstart the fandom in that region. Again, really good strategy by the execs. I mean,
it just keeps getting bigger and
you'll
bigger.
see
MMA.
they're always making the right moves.
How many fighters,
On the
contending
roster?
Well, that come through the Performance Institute on a
let's
monthly
see.
basis? Because some of them train out. They usually come in right before there's a fight.
That's about 80 in-persons, but then it's way more, it's almost like 70% of the active roster, because more than that actually, because we go to every event with our dietetics team, our chef team, culinary team. They feed them, they rehydrate them, they help them with the cut, and then they give them physical therapy, sports massage, whatever they need, you know.
Well, I remember also you have that like the shakes bar where they would like the like the milkshakes and stuff, like the protein shakes.
Yeah.
Like based off of
Fueling
what you needed.
station.
They would check them and like based off of they would put all the different parts of what they're
based on what they're doing, their nutritional profile, what they need, and their caloric need. So their body fat or their body mass. Are you reducing mass? Well, this is a hard workout, but you're still only getting X amount of carbohydrates versus, all right, well, you can afford, this is a hard workout, you get a lot of carbohydrates with your protein, whatever. Yeah. So again,
does the Black Beast drink a lot of shakes from there?
The Black Beast,
Derek
Lewis. No, I think he just drinks milkshakes. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. He's definitely spent some time with us. He's still, he's pretty old. He's still doing well.
Is he still on the roster?
Oh
right?
yeah. I think he's fighting again here pretty soon. Yeah. He'll fight again for sure.
Do you think sometimes like the heavyweights like they could do more, like get a little more muscle on them and lose the fat? I'm talking more like a Tyvasa or like a
just
Mark
genetics,
Hunt,
man. It's just genetics,
Yeah, really.
Yeah, and then when you're a heavyweight, there's not the reason to do it.
Change too much.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because bigger arms are going to make you probably more tired, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, muscle takes energy, but you can always gain muscle more efficiently, right? So it's really more, I think, and it's pretty accurate. You want to streamline, about streamlining your efficiency when you're that big,
What's the most like? I just had this question, but when you were traveling like all throughout the world, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, with all these events and stuff like that, was there ever like a cool after party, like on a Shaw's like huge yacht or something like that?
No, I never made it to that one. I went to some pretty awesome after parties in LA after those, and just because there are a bunch of A-list celebrities at them. But man, there was I tell you, I give you a place, Krakow, Poland. Shockingly awesome. Cheap, best pierogies I ever had. The food's amazing.
What was it called?
Pierogies, little little meat and dough. They're amazing. Like everything there was amazing. The beer, the everything. No, it'll shock you.
Speaking of pretty like Polish fighters.
Yeah. Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
No. The one that always was rivals with her.
No, Joanna's the one. Wait, Polish?
Yeah.
She's Polish.
No, but there's another one.
Claudinha is the Brazilian that had a rival with her.
She was blonde. And she always looked like petite, she was athletic, but she always had a rivalry with Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Yeah.
I forgot her name.
And
dude.
she smiles and puts her hands.
She always had long hair. Yeah.
Smiles and puts her hand. Yeah, I forget her name.
Was it like Victoria or?
I forget. I know you're.
Carolina.
Carolina Kovacevic.
Yes.
So she's Polish too.
Right.
Yeah, I forget that. Yeah. She did not. I love her because she didn't look like a fighter at all.
Ever.
What's up?
I was like, did they grab this girl out of the stands?
And there were a couple women. I was like, oh, they must have thought they were doing like ring card girl tryouts today, and they just got in the wrong line.
Yeah.
Like ring card girls over here, fighters over there. They're just like, well, I guess I'm already in the fighting line. Might as well go fight.
What about what's her name? Macy Barber just had that.
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, I don't. Yeah. I mean, I know she didn't fight.
Yeah. What is that? Kind of like last minute, right before the bout? Like,
to my understanding, it was like right before the bout. But,
could it be like a nutrition thing, you think? Like she cut too much weight? Because I know she missed weight.
Yeah, by
cut last minute.
Pounds. Who knows? I mean, you should be recovered by the next day. But, here's the thing,
I hope she's okay.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. There's medical staff, commissioned doctors, UFC independent doctors. There's medical people with medical licensure. And by medical licensure, I mean, like, they can lose their license. That aren't going to clear you if you're not fit to fight. Like, even if somebody wanted you to fight or all the external pressures, there's going to be a doctor for the commission that's going to say, no, no go, you know? So again, you talk about, like I talk about the danger of the sport and how I love it. There is also that safety aspect. Do you see how I kind of spun that around? That was really good. It was really,
you brought it back full circle.
You had a question that was like, And I just went, well, let me Jedi mind trick this and tell you how great the UFC medical team is and how great the Nevada State Athletic Commission is.
No, and I wasn't implying that they aren't awesome. I was just concerned about her, like,
just for me.
Have you heard every fighter like that close to the bout having an issue? I don't think I've ever heard of that in a long time. At least.
I've seen main events not happen.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, I've seen main events not happen. And then I've seen a guy just flat back out on contenders. Just like, nah, I don't really want to do this. I saw a guy in a cage.
Really?
I saw a guy in a cage in Florida back out and be like, no, I can't do it.
Wow.
I was just like, just run out, throw a big punch, fall down, and start tapping.
That's true.
I was like, just throw the biggest haymaker you got in your
That's a
just
damn,
throw,
that's
see
a damn
what
good
happens.
piece of advice. It's a lot.
And if he clips you with anything, just
At least to make some money.
Fall on the ground, grab your head, and start tapping.
Yeah.
Act like it was the worst shot in the world.
That's rough, man. That's rough. To have to do that.
Yeah. I don't think that kid ever tried to fight again.
So let me ask you this: when you've been at one of the toughest parts of your, I don't want to say career, but like
Journey, life, yeah.
Like, what went through your mind, like the worst day you had, and how'd you get yourself out?
Ooh. So I remember, being like, so I quit my job and I became like a bouncer, and I took this fight, but I broke my hand. And I shattered my hand, so I couldn't work as a bouncer because I was in a cast. I had to get pins, so I took out student loans, and I paid for I withdrew from my classes, and I bought myself a new hand with the student loans. I go out, I had a car, $500 shit box, nothing. All right, that's all right. I got a bike. I'm gonna figure out how to ride a bike. Now it was the bike I'd had that I got for my 15th birthday, and I go. And I'm looking for my bike, and I realized somebody stolen my bike. And I was like, who steals a 10-year-old bike? Who steals my 10-year-old bike? Stole it. Like, what the? And my car's broken. And I just was like, I went in the house, and the only thing I had was popcorn, and my roommate has some margarine. And I just took popcorn and just dipped each kernel into the margarine. And I would just watch the news because we only had like 3 channels.
You just were eating raw popcorn?
Well, popcorn and margarine, yeah. It's just like, man, this is low. And it wasn't like a moment, It was never a moment for me. Like, talk about big losses and things. Here's what I found. I never got inspired or had an inspirational story. I would just get in my car every day after a loss and go to the gym. And you hope people aren't going to talk to you about it, but you just go to work. Just get in your car and go to work. And that was kind of what.
That was your therapy.
Yeah, well, it was just the only thing I knew how to do. It's like, what do I do? Well, I guess I get in the car and I go to the gym and I train.
Yeah, when I'm having a bad day too, I'll be sitting there and like my body wants to just stay stationary.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get your ass up, get out.
You gotta move for sure.
Even if it's not to the gym, just get out the door, get in the car.
Yeah.
Get out.
I'm like the king of like 12-minute workouts, 7-minute workouts, just something, just to get going, They're
just a bunch of push-ups, some burpees.
Well, I just set a clock for 10 minutes, hop for 30, squat for 30, hop for 30. I could only do push-ups on my knees for like 20, and then just do what I can. Try to get going, and then maybe if I can work myself up to it, I'll do a couple bike sprints. But that's sometimes that's
what are they? Okay.
Just the bike sprints on the Airdyne.
Oh.
Just 80-30. So hit 80 for 30 seconds, and then 40 for 30 seconds, 80 for 30 seconds. So you can do it for like 5 minutes, or until your heart explodes, whatever.
I started actually doing sprints when I would go running.
Yeah.
Like 15-second sprints.
Yeah, that's all you
Funny
need.
thing was, the first couple of times I pulled my hamstring.
Yeah, well, you definitely have to ease into it.
Yeah.
But it's great neuromuscularly too.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
And I heard it's good for your testosterone levels.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, well, since last week, my testosterone's fine. I just inject that needle every week. Boom.
You got TRT
Yeah,
treatment?
baby.
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Everybody tells me about it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you got to get
That's because
TRT.
you don't got to.
I went to that
I mean, if
Alex
you're-
Hormozy thing.
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
I was talking to this guy, and he was kind of like shredded, but he was about my age.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool, man. You must go to the gym like 5 days a week. And he's like, no, I actually go twice. And I go, really? He's like, yeah, I started doing this TRT thing, man. It's great. He goes, I can eat whatever I want. I go to the gym only twice a week.
Yeah, I haven't found that to be the case. He must be doing the better stuff. He must have access to better doctors than I do.
I don't know. I think he mentioned the breed of horse.
Yeah. I'll
No, I didn't say that.
There was the old, have you ever heard I always love this quote. A quote from Arnold. It's in his book, I believe. If I thought that donkey urine would make me bigger, I would consume it from the source itself. I love that. It's like you got to be able to do whatever it takes.
I get it, but it's a little foreign.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, if
I'd help get it in the bucket.
If I really
if
thought,
I had to.
hey,
Then I'd drink
it's
it
going
from
to
the
make
bucket.
me a better fighter, it's going to increase my killing ability, dude, I'm doing it. The more you're killing, the less you're dying.
I've found there's no magic pill.
Yeah, no.
It's just hard work.
Yeah.
Macros,
It's on the wall.
Macros
It's on
is
the
more
wall.
important
It's on the
actually
wall. Yeah.
than the workout.
Consistency.
Consistency.
Consistency trumps everything. Yeah, and I guess that's, if I had like a moral of the story, just get in the car and go. You know, it's like, it's not going to be the best day. Yeah, you just got to get.
Just be consistent.
You know, you don't know what else to do, right?
I like what Andrew Tate said.
Okay.
Let me start off with that. Let's not be controversial.
About sex trafficking?
Like if it's open hand,
yeah.
not abuse. I'm kidding. No, he said all those people out there that say that they're depressed, or they're bipolar, not to say that those things don't exist, but the guys that are depressed, right? There's a lot of depression amongst men these days in much higher percentages than there ever were. Probably due to Instagram, because you get to see how shitty your life is by looking at everybody's awesome best life. But he said, go to the gym and work out for 45 minutes for like 3 or 4 days a week. And see how shitty you feel after.
No, it's easy.
You know?
It's easy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, just because Andrew Tate, he's not the first person to say that.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure that, like, for me, it's like just move your body early in the day.
Yeah.
Well,
you get more sound bites if you say it like that, you know.
The earlier the exercise,
the
more productive your day.
I think what he said was something like to the effect of stop being a pussy.
Yeah. Go to the gym.
Go to the gym.
Just go to the gym. Yeah. Just go to the gym. And honestly, I don't know what to do. YouTube it. Like, I'm 50 years old. I've been training martial arts, or 48.
Please don't round us up,
sorry,
man.
Sorry,
Come on,
48.
we're closer to 45,
48.
man. Jeez.
Well, technically 47. Wait, I'm 47. How old are you?
46.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm gonna be 47 next month.
I'm actually
in July.
I'll be all right. Okay, so you're 47 too. Okay. I see.
Let me hang on to my 46.
Yeah, 46.
Come on, man.
46. That was a good
You're
year.
shooting 50 at us, man. What the hell's the matter with you?
But I go on like YouTube to look for a workout. I'm doing some random boxing workouts today. I just look like a boxing workout.
It's the best for anything.
Just random boxing workout. Like,
or I'm like, what the hell does RDL stand for?
Yeah. Did you ever figure it out?
I thought it was Rafael dos.
Yeah, Sandios or something. Yeah, the fighter.
RDA.
He's another guy. RDA, it's his favorite exercise. It's definitely from Romania.
Anyway, so tomorrow, when you got an open spot in the afternoon? So I could get beat up by you.
Well, interesting. What was the question? Besides RDA.
You were gonna look at your schedule.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of stuff.
You were lying about the ADD.
There's a lot of stuff happening, bro. There's a lot of stuff happening. I can be free from like noon to 3.
Yeah, I
Anytime,
could probably be there by noon.
No?
My
All right.
appointment's at
Yeah.
8. I'll be done by 11.
Yeah, you'll be.
The place where I'm going to is in there's like some Air Force base. Near some Air Force base.
Well, it's Nellis.
Nellis. That's where I'm at.
Nellis. It's hard to say, right? Because there's.
That's where it's at. Like right next to that base.
Yeah.
Where I gotta go.
So,
How far is that? From half an hour?
Yeah, probably about half hour.
All right, cool.
All
I'll see you at 12, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.